Welcome, my dear friends. It is wonderful to see you. I am Stephen Clements, a writer, a gamer, and an enjoyer of big brain activities in general. On this channel, I perform dramatic readings of my stories, I provide role-playing game reviews, and I get to interview interesting people. In this episode, we're going to explore my short story, Going Home. First published in Mitch Workman's The Big Book of Bootleg Horror Volume 2 in 2017, I would highly recommend you not buy that book from him to get at this story, since he never actually paid me for running the story. Now, he ran it. I said he could run it, but the $10 I was promised never actually showed up. I know, $10, it's a really big deal. But hey, he welched on a debt. But about this story, though, Going Home is a hubris tale, where responsibility for the bad things that happen falls squarely on the shoulders of the main character, who brought it all on themselves through greed and myopic arrogance. Combining cosmic horror with occult Christian ideas and the allure of lost histories, I think this will be well worth your time. I hope you enjoy hearing it as much as I enjoyed writing it. Now, this is a longer story than the previous one, so I'm going to be breaking this reading up into 3 parts, and eventually we'll combine them all in case you want to marathon them. So, without further ado, let's get into Going Home by Stephen Clements. Leaving my research assistant behind, safe and asleep in her bed, I took off into the Pyrenees to climb alone their high peaks. I didn't come to this patch of French nowhere after the culmination of 10 years of research to share it with someone else, to bring someone else to steal my credit. From the moment my head hit the pillow at the cabin, my mind was alive with a fire that wouldn't be quenched until I found the ritual site, if indeed it still existed. All this time, I had purposely given my assistant directions that were slightly off, so she could not leak that information to anyone else, like that bastard crabgrass at Princeton. At the twilight of the second day of my trek through the mountains, here it was, a tumble of rocks, partly covered in moss and snow, but clearly the still standing altar of Rex Mundi, the wicked demon god of the physical world, as described by the heretical Cathars. There could be no doubt that I was the first person in over 800 years to lay eyes on it. I so excitedly set about taking notes and pictures that I jumped when a dark shadow blotted out the dying sunlight behind me. When I looked back, I was astonished to see a man dressed in a clean-pressed and immaculately tailored black suit. My nerves frayed, as I expected no guest. The man's appearance from nowhere disturbed me, but something about him made my mind and body panic, with bile rising in my stomach and my chest tightening with fear. There was no reason for anyone else to be here, so far from anything the modern world desired. My subconscious screamed up at my racing mind, "This is no man!" "You're right. I am no man. I believe you came in search of me," the thing in the perfect suit with perfectly coiffed hair said. "But I see you did not expect company." "Calm down. You have nothing to fear," he said, his tone reassuring and measured. As he spoke, it confirmed my heart's innermost desire, the fruition of a lifetime studying not merely anthropology but the occult. Even as my body quieted itself at the stranger's command, my mind still raced with the details of my guess that may also be true. Was he really a god? A demon? Something else? Still wide-eyed with alarm, I asked, "You will do me no harm?" "No." "How can I trust you?" "I promise. But you know you don't have a way out if I choose to," the stranger said matter-of-factly. "I'm glad you came, though, because I need your help," he said beseechingly. "Me? You need my help? Aren't you eternal, all-knowing, and supernaturally powerful?" "You are correct. I have existed since all this began. I'm still capable of wonders and marvels, but I am limited in certain knowledge." "What could I possibly teach you?" Looking longingly at the sky, he said, "How to go home. I've been locked on this rock for longer than you can comprehend. Not simply here crafting mountains or managing the elements for the Creator, because then I could always go home. Indeed, I always had it with me. But when I fell. You're a demon then, I asked. My mind raced with the possibility of finding out what had really happened. The answers to so many fundamental mysteries faced by mankind lay inside the head of this demon standing right here. Why had the fallen angels rebelled? Was this part of God's plan? I am not a demon. I am a fallen angel. Demons are things that existed from before creation was made and still seek to undo it all. Fallen angels are just that. Angels no longer in the graces of the Creator. We are often rowdy. It is true. But we are part of this creation as you are. And we once personally knew the Creator. The Jews simply got us and demons confused, thinking we were the same thing. Yes, we are both terribly powerful, but at least you and I are made in a likeness. They exist in a form of madness. Sorry, I did not know. Thank you for telling me. Please continue. When I was cut off from the light, I raged. I destroyed. I did awful things to your ancestors and to those who came before them. I taught them to do awful things to each other. I want to be sorry for that. You mean you feel sorry for that and want to apologize? No. I want to know how to feel sorry. You and I are so different that what is natural to you, like feeling sorry, having that emotion, I do not have. I was purpose-made to do specific tasks, so I was not made with your heart. I can look at you and describe to you every molecule and atom of which you were made, what ties them together and to the fabric of creation, and how to bind and unbind them. If you will hear me out, I need your help, and am willing to tell you everything I know in return. He'll tell me everything. Of course I'll help you, on one condition. Yes, all access to you goes through me. I help you in your quest. You help me to know everything. You tell your secrets only to me. Be careful when you ask to know everything. Not all knowledge is good to have. But if you ask it of me, I will tell you. I went straight for it. What is the meaning of life? Not yet. Free me first. Free me from the occult bindings trapping me to this mountain. Then I can go with you and learn what it is to be like you. As you teach me what it is to be like you, to be redeemable, I will tell you the secrets of creation. Why do you want to be like me? Why do you want to feel sorry? When the Cathars found this place and began worshiping me as their mad god, in their rantings they mentioned redemption from sin was possible and needed before you could go to heaven. While they killed themselves off in their madness before I could learn more, it seemed as though you need to feel sorry for what you've done before you can repent of it and be redeemed for it. Maybe redemption's only for men, but maybe it can work for a fallen angel too. I have to try. They worshipped you, I stated. So you are Rex Mundi, king of the world, creator of this physical world. He shook his head. No, people often see me as they want me to be. And this band of Cathars thought I, a fallen and incredibly powerful being, had to be their evil god. Having found what they thought was proof that their devil existed, but still having no proof their God existed, they threw their lot in with me. They worshipped at this altar, left by another foul civilization, made pacts, and sacrificed themselves and their children to me in the hopes of a reward. I had to ask, what is your angelic name then? I've been worshipped by many names, though you may call me Cyril. That is a safe name to use. I was a spirit of the second life to those that worship me. I was once free to roam, but then anchored to this place by a people who were stargazers and worshiped the second life I could give. but they were so wicked and cruel that the Celts slaughtered every one of them and destroyed my massive temple long before the Romans came. I could describe it all for you. While the other mysteries may wait, you did come here to study my temple, and I wish to deal with you fairly. I want to go home. If you break this rock, I can go out into the world and find out if there's any salvation for one such as me. I looked at the stone towards which Cyril gestured, and it stood in the center of the site, a plinth with faded but intact carvings on it. As I looked closer, the lines carved into the stone were filled with an unsullied metal, which should be impossible for something so old. In places it was covered in moss, but as I brushed the growth away, I saw it glow in almost a light, silver light, and it was completely intact in its interlacing designs. It was a marvel to behold. Possibly more fascinating, the design was not detailed by my books on summoning or binding demons. The only symbol I recognized was centered in the four sides of the plinth, obviously a type of cross. But the symbol in the center at the top was intriguing, perhaps indicating Cyril's true name. "What does this symbol mean?" I asked. Cyril hesitated. "You have my promise of goodwill. Please do not ask for that. It is my true name, and every man who has learned it has destroyed himself with the power it granted him." Disappointed for now, I asked. "Very well. Then how do I free you from it? I can't break this rock with the tools I have." "Use your chisel to break the metal lining the carvings. The seal just has to be broken, and then we can leave this dreadful place." I hurried to do as instructed, as I frantically grabbed for my tiny tools meant for the careful removal of dust and debris, not the destruction of the precious historical site I was investigating. It was a small price to pay. I looked around, expecting a dramatic change to occur, for the fallen angel to cackle with glee and swell to some terrifying form and rain down fire from the sky. All I saw was Cyril, looking relieved. Cyril flashed a quick smile and said, "Let's get out of here. I can tell you all about this forlorn place on the way." And that's where we're going to stop for today. We'll pick back up on part 2 in the near future. Now, if you already got thoughts and opinions on what you've heard today, then please drop those in the comments below, because I'd love to hear about them. If you enjoyed yourself, I do enjoy people liking and subscribing, so you know what to do that. And I thank you for your time, that you chose to spend it with me. As we dear friends part for now, I wish you nothing but the best.